Hi there, welcome to Pitchside. Thank you so much for definitely always, checking out our YouTube channel, Pitchside with Tabu Peter, sharing the content. We really appreciate your feedback that you also give us whenever you're checking out the content, and we take it seriously. So you out there who is joining us here today, yet again, first of all, requesting you that it takes you only 1 minute or less to subscribe. Hit the subscription button on Pitchside with Tabu Peter, and let's get growing this YouTube channel together. So thank you so much, Africa, Europe, everywhere, guys. We really appreciate the love and support. Now it's yet again another edition of Pitchside, and most definitely an exciting one, straight into what's happening in Ugandan football, specifically the body that governs football in this country, which is FUFA, based in Mengo. As you can see on set today, I am joined by my senior colleague, someone that I've learned the trade of sports journalism from over the years. But really excited to have senior Ruben Luyombo on Pitchside today for the first time. No, not first time, second time. First time was at Nachivubo when we were opening the stadium. So glad that he's definitely here, and I'm going to let him say a hello to you before we break down our discussion today on Pitchside.
I'm quite elated to be on the pitch side for the second time.
Yes.
Though there's no pitch.
And we are not from the pitch anyway.
Exactly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone out there who is watching us, as you are all aware, Ugandan football is yet again making the headlines in Uganda and across the borders. Why? Because of the newly introduced league format that is ongoing now. That has received a lot of mixed reactions from the clubs that are participating in it to the fans and other stakeholders. As it is right now, Viper Sports Club is the only club that has stood its ground and said they will not participate in the new league format. We're going to get into all of that much later on. But Viper Sports Club, which is headed by Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa, someone who's been in Ugandan football for a minute and one of the biggest investors still in Ugandan football. Today, alongside my senior Ruben Luyombo, we are going to try and paint a picture for you out there to understand where Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa and Moses Magogo Hashim, the current FUFA president, have come in terms of Ugandan football. We all know that Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa was president of FUFA from 2005 until 2013 when he decided to step down. In came Engineer Moses Magogo, who has been the FUFA president for 4 terms now, from 2013 up until today. But in between those years, there's been a lot of back and forth. There's been a lot of questions. People today are wondering, how did Moses Magogo come up and become FUFA president? What happened during the Lawrence Mulindwa reign when he was FUFA president? And so we're going to discuss that relationship and find out where it could end up, and possibly what should be done with the ongoing impasse. Ruben Luyombo here was one of the top journalists, and he still is. Ruben, let's roll it back a bit first of all. Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa, how do you get to interact with him? And when do you start to realize that this is someone who has deeply rooted himself in Ugandan football with with the things that he used to do, from your perspective?
No, it's quite absurd. I'll start on the absurd note that what would be a good conversation has now turned into personalities. And it's all about the format and everything. And now we're talking about Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa and Moses Magogo. But on the other side, it's very hard to talk about FUFA without talking about Moses Magogo. It's very hard to talk about Vipers, the institution, without talking about Mr. Lawrence Mulindwa. And it's hard to talk about Ugandan football at the moment and don't talk about Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa. I came in contact with Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa, me as a person, when he was about to be sworn in.
As FUFA president?
As FUFA president. And I remember I was writing the big one for the Monitor. I did the first interview with him. I re-interviewed him, and they wrote it in the Monitor. He gave me the first interview. He came and promised everything to rejuvenate Ugandan football and change everything. You would see somebody who was really focused to take the game of football forward. Remember, football had reached a certain stage where everybody was tired and bored of Ugandan football.
Just for me
After
to chip in, is that Seva Soccer after the
no,
Seva Soccer
after
camp?
the Civil War soccer was around when the late Dennis Obua was in charge.
Yes.
When government intervened, FIFA came in, put in a normalization committee. That normalization committee led for 2004 and organized the elections. The normalization committee that was led by Dr. Sekajugo, and that committee had Edgar as one of the members. It had Madame Catherine Adipo as the secretary. They had Julius Kavuma-Kavenge. They had Patrick Isiaji.
Yes.
Those were some of the members. And in between, before even Mr. Mulindwa came in, the normalization committee was a little bit at war within themselves. They said Dr. Sekajugo wanted to stay on for so long. He didn't want to organize elections in 1 year. So Kavuma Kavenga and Isiagi said we should organize elections and we get a new FUFA president. And that's how Mr. Mulinda was ushered in. In the process, there were elections that were nullified, the grassroots elections for members of district members and delegates.
Yes.
So it was nullified. In Kampala,
Yes.
they had Yusuf Chuni, Chiune,
Yes.
and they had Sande Moni.
Yes.
And in Kawempe, they had Asuga and Waswa Gonto. In Makindi, they had the late Agtua Kolada, who was of Utoda, and then I think Tamale. And then in Ruvaga, there was Mbide and Kennedy Mutenyo.
Kennedy Mutenyo.
And then in Nakawa, there was Angela Ronyesi. Who was the second person? I'm forgetting the second person.
Yes, yes, yes.
So when they nullified those elections, the people from Lubaga who had stood before Noboa did not stand. So Lubaga looked for other delegates. And the other delegates were Kasarire and Moses Magogo. That's how Ashi Moses Magogo comes into football. Yeah. But before, he was a member of the Save Our Soccer. Like the Audrines, the
He was a member of the Save Our Soccer.
Yeah,
Because I remember it was midday.
No, those were the vibrant places. We used to meet at Stakeout
Yes.
and different places. And he was following soccer diligently. I remember we had what we used to call a chimeza. Football chimeza. We used to sit at Tipsy, where now the current parking is.
Yes.
Tipsy take away one again. After having a word supper, Kabuleta, Mark Sally, me, Moses Magogo, Mujib Kasule, Agra Shaba, women, and would argue about football, calling Subika. We are many that would leave the Tipsy takeaway at around 4 a.m. when it came there at around 8. And that was a daily thing. It was a routine. And everybody would be, Onaja Kuchimeza, Onaja Kuchimeza.
So Moses Magogo was part of you guys?
Yeah,
at that time, and you guys would interact.
No, it's been around soccer circles. No, no, we always interact. We talk, but we can agree on certain things. But no, it doesn't take away that he's our friend.
Yeah,
yeah. So when we just finished school, and my first job was a reporter at CBS.
Yes.
Then the locker room was really the main thing
at that time.
At that time.
Yeah.
So CBS 89.2 thought that they can counter the locker room because their main focus was Eastern.
Yes.
That the Lusoga, Mbale, what have they, and they could include English in their programs. So they introduced a program, a sports program, and on that sports program, I was the host of the show. Moses Magogo was my panelist, and Mark Namanya were my two panelists.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
And Rumansi.
Okay.
Yeah. So at that time, Moses, I think, was an intern in Chinyara. And after school, he would also join Chinyara as an engineer. He would drive from every Saturday and come for the show. After the show,
he was passionate.
After the show, we'd go eat our food, we'd go and watch football. He was even surprised that we didn't know that he was standing for Ruvaga. We were surprised that the delegate for Ruvaga is Moses Magogo, the delegate for Ruvaga, and Kasarire. So after becoming a delegate, I remember there were finals of Wakiso district, the Wat Kajansi. So Mr. Mulindwa was the district head. So when they go to Kajansi, everybody was talking about Mulindwa. There's a football guy, he's a Wakiso boss, he's big, spending big, and everybody wanted to meet him. You know, who is that guy? Who is that guy? So Moses Magogo interacted with him. So, and here is Mr. Mulindwa asking him, how did you pass through? You're a young man, I've picked your brains. He picked his brains and really liked him. So when Mr. Mulindwa was standing, he stood unopposed.
Yes.
Remember.
Yeah.
But for starters, there was Chris Ranica, who wanted to become FUFA president. So Chris Ranica later on pulled out and left it for Mr. Mulindwa. But originally, he was picking members to work with his executive. So he was impressed with Moses Magogo and picked his brains. He loved his brains for the game and the passion for the game. So originally, the Kampala district chairmanship belonged to, I think, was it Chuni or somebody? I don't remember. But these other delegates, I told you, originally were in for Chris Ranica.
Yes.
Much as they later jumped ship and joined Mr. Lawrence Mulindwa,
They were originally-
but for Chris Ranica. So Mr. Lawrence Mulindwa didn't really trust them as his people. So
because they had crossed.
Exactly.
Yes.
So he picks the chairman of Zone 9 of Kampala and gives this to Moses Magogo. So several of those delegates who were there were like, hey, president, omwana ng'omuwadde ekifo kinene nnyo, mwana muto, will he manage? Mr. Mulindwa gave him all the confidence and said he will manage. So he picked him up. He didn't even stop giving him the chairmanship of Zone 9 of Kampala. He made him the secretary of the Leach Committee and head of licensing.
So that's why the competition's talk comes in now.
Exactly.
Yeah, as Moses Magogo. I want to ask you now, from that point, that now Lawrence Mulindwa comes into power, 2005, everything starts moving. Magogo comes into the picture, like you've explained. He runs competitions. At that time, was Lawrence Mulindwa hands-on as a FUFA president? Because as a journalist, I remember only covering press conferences of when the Cranes were going to play. Beyond that, I don't remember anything much that happened.
He really wasn't that much hands-on, but he would do the funding and delegate. What do you want? Moses, do this. What do you want? Mugisha, do this. So that's how, and I was really hands-on when it came to the Cranes. And I remember at one time I asked him, Mr. Mulindwa, but you're starting to build the house from the top. Why don't we start from the grassroots? We inject money in the grassroots, you know, but people even struggle to have balls, to have training facilities. Why don't we start from there and FUFA posting an input? Football growth. He said, Bwana Gondi, you know, you have to first interest the public again.
Into the product.
Then to diet once. And what interests them right now, because they've lost interest in club football, should be the national team. If the national team is flourishing and are doing well, they will come back slowly and pick up the game, and then we shall also try to put in money. It will grow genetically.
On that point where you say that Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa prioritized the national team, it reached a point where, of course, it was a masterstroke. Because if you remember, during that period, the Cranes sold out even a month before a home game.
Exactly. It got the confidence of the fans, the confidence of the sponsors. They will say that the person was coming. Much as Mr. Mulindwa himself did not have too much sponsorship, but there came MTN. But you remember there was a time when government was supposed to be providing money for tickets and the money is not there. And Mr. Mulindwa will tell you, let me get the money from my coffers, I'll pay myself after.
So he will find a way find a way with the Cranes.
Exactly. You remember even how Michael Ezra came in. You remember that saga in Niger, Gabon, when the team traveled without money. But the man was still in Kampala looking for money, but to make sure I let them travel, they will come in and there was a communist strike, sort of. So he also worked for football, elevated to a certain level. Then, but the main person who was running the day-to-day things at the federation was Engineer Moses Magogo.
So there then comes my question, Senior Ruben Luyombo, that Mulindwa does all this, and before we know it, he's announcing that he's not interested in running again. that got so many people unaware. Many started questioning why would Mulindwa, with all the things that he was doing and how football was running, wake up one morning and say he's not running again. But you are there. You're one of the people who are on the ground. Maybe just repaint for us a picture when that happened, when that communication came in. How was it received?
I remember,
and what happened thereafter?
I remember after the first term, and when SuperSport came in, they started sponsoring the league. They were running battles between USL
And the federation.
and the federation said football is theirs, it belongs to them, they have to decide. And they were telling you USL as a private entity, as a company registered to run the league, they have the mandate. So they were running battles all the time. And I remember Moses being at the forefront of those battles.
From the FUFA end.
Exactly. So those running battles escalated to the levels of getting to the ministry.
Of education.
I remember at one time, like 3 times, Jessica Lopo, by then, she wrote a letter of saying she's dissolving the current FUFA. Then, and it took at the intervention of the Prime Minister, the Vice President. But then behind the scenes, it's believed, I will not say it here, the behind the scene battles that led to Mr. Mulindwa resigning. They gave him a choice to take, and I will not tell you what that choice was.
Yes.
So the other choice was to step aside.
So the infights at the federation, that of course we can't get into now, more or less led to him, thinking about it and saying this is not worth it, and he said
It's not worth it because they gave him an option, what you stand to lose and what you stand to gain.
And he balanced.
So he balanced and he said, let me first step aside. Not that they were choosing him of his stolen money or misconduct, what? No. There were power struggles at that moment.
And he said it, step back.
A step back.
So on that very issue, because we're getting to the point where Moses Magogo now comes in full charge of the entire system at the federation and how he grows to be to the level he is now. When Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa says, I'm done here, I know in hours it moved from him stepping down to him handing over office to Moses Magogo taking charge.
Because
how was that whole mix there briefly?
Because I'm made to understand from the people who were within that meeting, Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa called his executive, sat, I looked at them for like 30 minutes without saying a word.
30 minutes.
And everybody was like, well, what's this gentleman thinking about? What is he going to tell us? He had that demeanor and everybody respected him and feared him.
Yeah.
So they were like, what is he going to tell us? Then he asked people out and stayed with 3 people, his vice presidents. The vice president was Mojib Kasule,
Yes.
Mugisha,
Justus,
and Moses Magogo. He told them, I'm stepping aside. I'm resigning from the FUFA president. I'm not going to explain to you.
Why?
But I think I should handle this thing to Mojib Kasule and you guys work with him. Mojib Kasule had just joined the federation. Remember, he was vice president USL.
Yeah, in charge of the league.
In charge of the league. But along the way, didn't agree with Kavuma Kabenga and Mwema on what was happening, on maybe the revenue share. So he said, I can't be part of this. So after Mr. Lawrence Mulindwa advised to work with him, he says, come work with me. Forget about all the troubles we've had. Remember 2009 when Mujib wanted to play, when he had just bought Nalubari.
Yeah.
So he had
From
to
Mr.
change names from Njubi.
Yeah.
So they felt, when he changed names, I remember Moses saying, going on record that this cannot happen. You're not even playing the league under the name of Proline. Moses he says you're allowed if you change blah blah blah. That's how the rule comes in, that if you buy a team, now you have to take a year playing with joint names, and then you can change the names. So they had court battles, but within the constitution, they had drafted something says that why don't we put a law that bars, some people who are not for football because they've seen an opportunity of maybe of becoming popular, of making money, they want to become FUFA presidents.
Sort of gatekeep,
exactly.
The football.
So they put there a law saying that 5 years within the top echelon of football, be it club or administrator somewhere, not executive, at a club level.
But 5 years.
5 years you've been in football. At least you have a background, you have a brief of what you're going to do. So Mujib tells the FUFA president, we've just put up a law that bars people have not been in football administration, top administration, be it on my club is young, for 5 years, and we cannot be seen
Going against
what we have.
put up.
So Mujib said, and I'm still young, I need to prepare myself for that.
So Mujib opted
Out. So they gave Mr. Mugisha Justice,
the chance.
and Mr. Moses Magogo to go in a room straight. Mulindwa walks out.
Oh, so when Mujib pulled out or said for me, no, let me wait. Just as Mugisha and Moses Magogo
Because
were given the opportunity.
Justice Mugisha was the senior administrator of all. He was the league secretary under the Obwa regime. You get it? He was on the normalization committee, if I remember quite well. So he had that experience in a top position. So they made them sit in a dialogue
To agree.
to agree. So they went in a room. They flexed. Ne bavayo nga bakkirizganyiza that
Nti?
Moses Magogo should take over.
The
But
presidency.
in their agreement, there was that so long as you came as vice president.
For as long as you're president.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they agreed, and that's how Moses Magogo
Became
takes over
FUFA
the
president.
helm of the FUFA presidency. So I think it was in good faith. Or originally, maybe it was not his first option, but he gave them a chance.
Which was a very good
And
thing.
that's how Moses Mulindwa, Moses Magogo comes into
Ugandan football.
Ugandan football as the president. So
And that's how
it's
been able
against the
to run
background you
football.
think these people know each other, because under the FUFA regime, Mr. Mulindwa's regime, Moses Magogo was his blue-eyed boy. You know, he was the administrator, he was the go-to person.
On most of the things that
Most
were
of the
decided.
things, yeah.
So it was easier. So, anyways, that was a very, very good background on the two, top football henchos we have in Uganda football, Moses Magogo and Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa. So, we're going to move to Moses Magogo and the reign that he's had. It's been 4 terms. There's a lot that he's done in those 4 terms. Uganda football has definitely had a lot of changes, from the league to the national team to the sponsorships and everything. But Ruben, as someone who's been covering Uganda football for a minute, from where you are, how would you describe the relationship between these two people ever since Moses Magogo took charge in 2013 and ever since he got the blessings of, his predecessor, Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa?
In all honesty, it has not been rosy to me. For starters, Mr. Lawrence Mulindwa was not happy with Engineer Moses Magogo. When he assumed office, the people, they labored at Mengo then, when Mr. Lawrence Mulindwa was still FUFA president, that they are rebels or they are fighting against the regime, are the very first people
That
he employed. He welcomed that come we work together. And as time went on, he went phasing out Mr. Mulindwa's people. So Mr. Mulindwa was not happy with that.
So just to understand the politics in football, or even in a work setup, after Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa blessing Engineer Moses Magogo to take charge of the federation, he would have expected that Moses Magogo would have welcomed more of Dr. Mulindwa's people to be in Magogo's setup. But that wasn't the case.
No, because
Yes.
I really hate mentioning names, but for him, like, the biggest tormentor to him was, I think, Danwaro Simbi then, and Tege Patrick. For him, he said, yes, you can bring people to work with you, but not in top places.
positions,
But they will tell you every regime has somebody they believe in or they trust in. So That one thing started under Lawrence Mulindwa. And then it came to a time when Express was playing like Hawaii Galaba Wech Couple.
Yeah.
Remind me, what was
Yeah,
that?
yeah. At the time, I was at Express, and
Yeah.
COVID came in, and the league was stopped. But it was so idealistic that the next season was about to start, but there was no communication from the federation regarding if this league will continue or if they're going to hand over that trophy. And I remember Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa holding a press conference, and he called out FUFA, and he told them, clubs are spending money. We don't know what's happening next. Let's end this league and prepare for a new one. And after his press conference, I think 24 hours later, or 48 hours later, Moses Magogo goes out and says Express has won the league with the rules in the competitions committee, competitions
Exactly. So-
manual book, and that was it.
So there have been small running battles,
Yeah.
and you'd think maybe they'll come to an end, huh? But now they've been escalated
With
by
what
the
is
format,
happening now.
So there's even that thing of Vipers Stadium now, St. Mary Stadium,
Yes.
not getting games.
And you've reminded me, the other battle was CAF approving stadiums in Uganda to host international games.
Exactly.
And I remember that Moses Magogo was on record saying that Semre Stadium Chende had not reached the level of being passed by CAF. And I think Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa was sitting back and thinking, I've invested a lot of money in Ugandan football. I've built my own stadium. I would expect the federation to actually be on my side because his biggest issue was the road leading to the stadium, which hasn't actually been worked on until today. Because he kept saying, if the government can help me build that road to the stadium, I'll have everything set. And of course, it was back and forth. CAF came and inspected Chitende, and they gave it marks below. You know, you would smell some blood between FUFA and Mengo, but it hadn't exactly exploded.
Yeah. And there was this thing where Mosepe came on a tour in Uganda,
Yes.
and they never took him to Chitende. Yeah? And
Yes.
like the person with the stadium, an investor, he's
a
like,
former
now
president.
he's following in your footsteps,
Yeah.
trying to follow you as you've done with Sundowns. And they were here. They went to places, they went to Kadiba, but never went to Chitende. I'm like, and those small things hurt your ego as a person.
At the level of Dr. Lawrence.
The person I've grown. I can't say I've got from nowhere. He's worked for you. Yeah, you've worked with each other. He sees you in that level as his mentor, and then he can't return, something back.
Yeah.
So I think there've been small bickering, and of course now in that process. And I think you've talked about Moses Magogo's regime. His regime had so many successes. Uganda not gone to the AFCON. He's gone there. They've hosted Pamoja. Under his stewardship at the federation, we've seen stadiums being built, government building stadiums, of course, with the help of Pamoja. And he had the dream of Pamoja. Most of us didn't believe in him. I personally didn't.
It was a hard one, Ruben.
I thought when
hard.
Morocco was still interested, then Morocco pulled out along the way. I couldn't see us pulling out East Africa, the entire East Africa, without infrastructure, vis-a-vis countries that already have set up infrastructures. Even if you told them that tomorrow you're hosting this, I didn't believe in that. He put it off. So he's going to do a few things. Uganda has now qualified back-to-back 3 times. Though others will tell you now the qualification is a little bit easier than it were before. Cranes is getting a lot of funding that it didn't get before. If Mr. Mulinda was at the helm at that time, or this time, he will be qualifying after Africa Cup of Nations. But you don't take it away from Moses Magogo. It's under his regime that people have qualified. But problem, a few things he's faced is his way of running things. When he believes in something,
he wants it done.
Yeah, it doesn't seek dialogue. It comes to lecture you how it's going to be run. Go back to is it football way? What do they call it? The way we want us to play?
He called it
technical master plan or something.
Yeah,
something
the
like
technical master plan, which was launched.
Yes. It was at first when he was calling people, it was not about gathering or how people should play. When it came to his turn, he was addressing them. We are going to do this and this and this.
Like it was already done for him
Done.
and
And I would
executed.
expect the TD to be running the things, not the FUFA president. Even in this kind of format, we go that the technical team, the FUFA TD, has consulted, has done what, and we see not the FUFA president presenting,
Being the one
presenting the
running
format
things.
and telling people we're going to do this and this if you don't want. I think his problem is when he believes in something,
He wants it done,
he wants
whichever
it
way.
done, and he doesn't expect divergent views to override his.
I wanted to ask you about now that we've discussed, the background and how Moses Magogo came into the picture and some of those small things that have happened behind the curtains that have really, really, really not, left a very good taste in Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa's mouth with, his relationship with with Engineer Moses Magogo. Let's briefly talk about Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa right now. From the people that you interact with, what perspective does he have with this current football regime?
What is happening at the federation right now? And it tells you he's not interested in that seat. If people have that perception, because you hear the people about Zimbabwe, they'll tell you his jealousy because this person has achieved this. He said he's not jealous of any achievements Moses has reached. And if he's been sulking, or maybe we'll say it in a press conference or what, and stop at that. But now this comes now to, because we've degraded to the level of personalities, as I told you.
Yes.
Mulindwa versus Magogo. But where it concerns him is now Viper is his club. Viper is where he's invested all his money, not the federation at Mengo.
Okay, so because of the money he's invested in his club, he feels it's very unjust with how the people at Mengo
exactly.
are deciding so many things.
Yeah.
Ruben, what's your take home about the new league format? Maybe before we get to where this war would end between FUFA and Vipers and fans, briefly tell me your take home from the new league format, how it was introduced, the backlash it's received, and how FUFA is responding to it.
From my understanding, in business, they say customer is boss. Yes, FUFA, you're a private limited company. You run your football, you have all the say about your football, but then you're saying a public good. It's not a private good that you play it amongst yourselves. You're saying to TVs, you're charging people to come and watch it, you're calling people to come and watch
And
it.
they pay their own
so
money.
you have to listen to them. Yes, it's your product, but you have to listen to people. The way it was introduced, I had it in rumors that they're introducing a new format, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, maybe I'm a sagisa.
Maybe to
Yeah, I
die
thought
out.
it was a joke.
So the approach was not good, and the execution was also not
To
good.
me,
Yeah.
to me, maybe to them it's good. And I'm not the person articulating you, maybe. Kugamba nenze nga wenchiraba. That's how it
Bachifulumya bubi.
bachanguya. That's when people start asking, if this thing is good, why the hurry?
And why the
urgency?
force?
Why do you have to change format? And then the arguments they give you, we are bringing more money into the league. We are bringing local room money. Local room,
Adding clubs money.
But the local room money has always been there to me. We've been awarding man of the match, save for goal scorer and maybe assist. We've been awarding man of the match. We've been picking a few. And that has been there. The smallest country has just qualified for World Cup.
Cape Verde.
Yeah, do they play in such a format?
No,
There are other things that help improve football, not the format.
not the format. Ruben, as we conclude this interview, we have a situation right now in Ugandan football. Vipers have stood their ground. FUFA have remained silent. How do you see this ending up? Where do you see this whole mix ending up? Because at the end of the day, football still have to be played.
I think if you know the characters of both people, they are two proud people and two stubborn people.
Too egoistic.
Exactly. Once they believe in something, they fight till the end. Now, if we'll leave it to them, they will never solve it. Because I foresee a situation after the international break. From Mr. Mulindwa's words, he says, if they're playing in the current format, I'm not playing. As Vipers, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't make financial sense. It doesn't add anything to me as club Vipers. So I'm not playing in that format. But now, You need an outside force. Either because when he wrote his letter, he copied it to the ministry, he copied it to National Council of Sports, I think FUFA,
Fans.
and fans. And now where it becomes tricky, the fans have stuck to their guns. They're saying we're not going to the stadiums. What has changed now and then, or before, people were not that well informed like they are right now.
Yes.
Would go and read about the 442 system or 423 system. Now everybody on the street knows about those systems because knowledge and information is everywhere. It's on the phone, it's each and everything.
Yeah.
So whenever you think of introducing something to people, now no people are informed. Maybe you even at the same level, much as you might look at them and say, may I invest a lot of time in this? People also invest a lot of time. So you need to respect people. When people come to you and tell you this cannot work or we don't believe in this, not that because Brichibada resisting, okay, or Chitwali, but you listen. Because the first game, the doubleheader made a statement.
A big one.
You saw KCC fans taking on their chairman and tubuulire who is above and yakulagira ffe bino tubikiriza okitegeera. So you know, because boche bayina nti bana Uganda cannot persist. Ugandans don't persist. They'll get bored and say we need to go to back to the games. They thought they would build on the Chan momentum, but the people who work in national teams are not the same people who watch club football. People you see in stadiums on local games, you don't even see them in Nambole. You see people ngatumula bangana ko, but it's for the fun. He's going to read something, pass a message, or showbiz. Go to TikTok. I was in Nambola. I was there, but he's not even in for the football. Even ask him after the game who scored one,
and they don't know
who scored. I don't know.
Even the players playing sometimes.
Yeah. So they go with the band, with the wave. What is happening? So you would tap in a few fans who would pick interest, and then encourage them to come and work the league games. But when they read on social media and they see comments, we don't coming, we don't understand. What is this? Even a new fan, make it easier for him. Let him not just jump into a format doesn't understand. Yeah. So, and he still stuck to your guns, it will need some intervention.
To make it.
If government, you've invested, you gave in $13 million for Pamoja and everything. If you make these fans lose interest in football, 2 years from now, if you don't intervene where you've put money, they don't want empty stadiums. That's when they come in and intervene, and FIFA will listen. That is not government intervention of how the game is played, who should be FUFA president. They are intervening in what is at hand, you know, because if it even made the headlines of the national paper, when you open social media pages, apart from Chagulanyi, Bob, Museveni and elections, the other thing making headlines.
The league thing
is making headlines. So if you don't come in, then you're not a government for the people.
Becomes tough.
You know. So even FIFA wants football to be played. FIFA never wants to throw out people. Even if they ban you, they tell you we've given you 30 days to organize because they want you to play football. So I think forces will intervene, and also the fans are still sticking to their guns. Now the question is, can the fans sustain it? And that's what Mengo is looking at.
Oh, they want to see how far this can go.
Can fans sustain it? We shall hold to our mount, but can the fans sustain it?
Ruben, my final question, just briefly, extremely briefly, is do you think this is the final nail in the coffin as regards to the relationship between Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa and Moses Magogo? Whichever way it ends, do you think this is going to bury their...
Football is like politics. They are not permanent friends and they are not permanent enemies. Right now, they might not be seeing eye to eye. One might not be calling, like, returning calls or picking calls. But this is a moment. And at times, if you want continuity, you have to reconcile with your people. So I think you cannot be safe having Mr. Mulindwa opposing you. With the wealth he has, with the influence he has, atawa agondo mukono. Even people who are against the format right now, who don't support the format, who even the funds are going, they are telling them that Mr. Mulindwa bought them. But this time, he's been so lucky that he's not using any fund.
It's the fans and
it's
the people
self-made,
who are
you know,
pushing it. Yeah.
it's naturally made, and the fans are appreciating it. And this time, you could even hear Villa fans who had shown never to go to Chitende. They are saying they're going to Chitende, and that support Vipers. It's not a Mulindwa issue right now. It's a national cause, and they see him as their Mukombozi. Yeah, Mukombozi were those Tanzanians who came under Kombo at Uganda, you know. So they see them as their Munonozi.
So he has numbers.
He has numbers at that, and you don't want to go at war with him, or you don't want to keep him in the bush. The storm will come down. One will have to swallow his pride. And believe me, I don't see Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa as the one swallowing his pride.
So, Ruben prophesies that it's most likely that we shall return back to the old league format, and maybe the games that have been played will still count in the old league format. Who knows? Very, very grateful for joining me on Pitchside, sir. Yeah, but thank you very much, Ruben, for joining me on Pitchside. Thank you for that very, very good insight about
Hope I made sense.
No, you definitely did. Everyone that is going to everyone that is going to watch this interview is going to have an idea of the background of the current FUFA president, Moses Magogo, and how he came into the frame and how he was mentored by Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa. From none other than the senior journalist, Ruben Luyombo. So, guys, like I said earlier on, please subscribe and share your feedback. Keep it pitchside. Cheers.